What is today referred to as Nigeria was once a rich tapestry of kingdoms and empires. You'll be amazed by the unique stories of legends who emerged from this part of medieval Nigeria, leaving an indelible mark on history. Some of these legendary stories have inspired feature films, while others remain untold. In this video, we highlight 5 legends from medieval Nigeria whose stories are worth sharing. Don't forget to like, share, and subscribe to the channel. Thank you. Queen Morami was a celebrated Yoruba queen from Yoruba land, located in what is now southwestern Nigeria. She is renowned for her pivotal role in liberating the Yoruba people of Ife from the dominance of the Udo kingdom. Born a princess in the town of Offa during the 12th century, Morami was famed for her extraordinary beauty, which earned her lasting admiration as one of the most beautiful Yoruba women in history. She became the queen of Oromeyo, the king of the Yoruba, and was deeply devoted to her husband and her people. During her queenship, the kingdom of Ife endured frequent raids by neighboring tribes known as the Igbo, a term meaning forest. These raiders abducted citizens and enslaved them. The invaders, who were always covered in leaves like masquerades, were believed to possess supernatural powers, prompting the Yoruba people to offer sacrifices in a bid to appease them. Determined to end these atrocities, Morami resolved to make the ultimate sacrifice if her plan to confront the Igbo succeeded. Her strategy involved allowing herself to be captured to infiltrate the Igbo's leadership and uncover their tactics. As planned, Morami was taken prisoner and brought before the enemy king. Captivated by her beauty, the king did not treat her as a captive but made her his wife. During her time among the Igbo, Morami carefully observed their strategies and realized that they were not spirits but rather humans dressed in leaves like masquerades. She eventually managed to escape back to Ife. She shared her discoveries, enabling the Yoruba to achieve a decisive victory over the Igbo. True to her vow, Morami offered her only son to the Assyrian gods as a sacrifice, fulfilling her promise. Morami's bravery and sacrifice are commemorated to this day. Her legacy is immortalized with a prominent statue in the heart of Ife town. Bayajidda, a prince from Baghdad, the capital of modern-day Iraq, was the son of King Abdullahi. However, he was exiled from his hometown after Queen Zidam conquered the city. Following his exile, Bayajidda journeyed across Africa with a group of warriors and eventually arrived in Borno, located in northern Nigeria. There, he supported the Sultan of Borno in defending his territory. Bayajidda later married Magira, the princess of Borno, and gained fame and power. However, the Sultan, envious of his influence, plotted to kill him. When Magira, his wife, discovered the conspiracy, she and Bayajidda fled westward to Garum Gabas. After a time, Bayajidda left his wife Magira in Garum Gabas, where she was to deliver a child, and went to Daura, then ruled by a woman whose name was Daurama. In Daura, Bayajidda stayed with an old woman named Ayana and asked her for water. She informed him that the town suffered from a water shortage because the only well was inhabited by a giant snake called Saki, which allowed water to be drawn only on Fridays when the community gathered. Undeterred, Bayajidda went to the well, threw the bucket in, and successfully drew water. The snake, grasping the bucket's rope, emerged, but Bayajidda seized its head, cut it off, and placed it in his sack. He discarded the snake's body near the well, drank from the bucket, and brought the remaining water to Ayana, who marveled at his bravery. The next morning, townspeople discovered the snake's body by the well and informed Queen Dorama. She declared that whoever presented the snake's head would receive half the town to rule. Many claimed to have eliminated the snake but could not produce its head. Ayana then revealed that her guest had drawn water the previous night. Bayajidda was summoned to the queen, and he presented the snake's head. When offered half the town as a reward, he declined, and instead requested the queen's hand in marriage. Daruma agreed, and they married, living happily together. In time, Bayajidda and Daruma had a son, Bawo, who succeeded them as the ruler of Dara. Bawo's 6 sons later founded and ruled 6 of the 7 Hausa states. During the reign of Oba Ozolua, 1483 to 1514 AD, 2 of his wives, Oloi Idia and Oloi Ohonmi, gave birth on the same day. Both bore sons. Oloi Ohonmi gave birth first, early in the morning, to a son named Idubor, fondly called Arhonran. Later that day, Oloi Idia gave birth to another son, Osawe. However, when Idubor was born, he did not cry immediately, which at the time was considered a bad omen. Thus, his birth was not reported to Oba Ozolua. In contrast, Osawe cried upon birth, and his arrival was promptly announced. Oba Ozolua declared Osawe his firstborn, relegating Idubor to second place, a decision that planted the seeds of conflict in the Benin kingdom. As Arhuanran grew up, he resented being deprived of his birthright. He often questioned his mother, Oloi Ohonmi, about whether Oba Ozolua was truly his father, doubting that a father could deny his son his rightful place. Despite his frustration, Arhuanran grew into a giant and a formidable warrior, known for his immense strength, able to uproot palm trees with his bare hands. Meanwhile, Osawe, attending the Portuguese missionary school, lacked battlefield experience but was well versed in diplomacy and statecraft. Oba Ozolua named Osawe the heir to the throne, positioning him as the Oba-in-waiting, while Arhuanran was made the Duke of Udo, the second largest and most significant town in the kingdom. Feeling slighted, Arhuanran resented playing second fiddle to his brother. After Oba Ozolua passed away, Osawe ascended the throne as Oba Esigi. Arhuanran, refusing to accept a subordinate role, sought to establish Udo as the new capital with himself as king. This rivalry escalated into 3 wars between the brothers. During the third conflict, in the rainy season, when Udo's farmers were preoccupied with their fields, Arhuanran went to battle. Before leaving, he instructed his son, Oni Oni, who resembled him in both appearance and skill, to remain at home. Arhuanran also left a magical bell in his house, warning his family that if the bell chimed, it would mean he had been defeated. On the battlefield, Arhuanran noticed a warrior fighting with uncanny skill identical to his own. Angered and suspecting treachery, he invoked a powerful incantation to eliminate the fighter. To his horror, he discovered he had slain his own son, Oni Oni, who had secretly joined the battle. Stricken with grief and rage, Arhuanran unleashed a ferocious attack on Oba Esigi's forces, but the battle ended inconclusively. Meanwhile, the magical bell at Udo rang, leading the townspeople to believe their duke had been defeated. Overcome with despair, Arhuanran's wife leapt into a nearby river, drowning herself. When Arhuanran returned home and learned of her death, he was devastated. Having lost his son, his wife, and his will to fight, he chose to end his life, plunging into the same river. Thus ended the tragic tale of Arhuanran, the Duke of Udo, whose strength and sorrow became legendary in the annals of the Benin Kingdom. Lisabi Akala was a celebrated warrior and liberator of the Egba people, located in present-day southwestern Nigeria during the late 18th century. At the time, the Egba people were subjugated by the Oyo Empire, one of the most powerful Yoruba states, renowned for its military prowess and vast influence. The Egba were forced to pay heavy tributes to the king of Oyo, which were collected by well-armed and ruthless tax collectors stationed in various Egba towns. Lisabi, a farmer who was tired of the tyranny and relentless dominance of the Oyo Empire, convinced his fellow farmers and other able-bodied men to join forces with him. The rebellion began with calculated attacks on the tax collectors who had been enforcing the collection of tributes across Egba territory and breaking the Oyo Empire's hold on the Eba people. Stories of Lisabi's heroic deeds spread throughout Oyo, with the people quietly singing his praises. Word of the rebellion reached the king of Oyo, who was consumed with uncontrollable anger. Embarrassed by the rebellion's success, the Alafin of Oyo sent a powerful army to suppress the Egba uprising. However, Lisabi, foreseeing this move, had already made strategic preparations for the confrontation. To protect the women and children, Lisabi kept the fight away from the villages. He laid several ambushes for the Oyo army, decimating their forces and securing a decisive victory for the Egba people. This act of defiance marked a pivotal moment in Yoruba history, proving that even a seemingly powerless group could challenge and overcome the might of a dominant empire. Lisabi is celebrated for his bravery, vision, and unwavering commitment to his people's freedom. The Egba people honor his memory through the annual Lisabi Day festival, which features cultural displays, prayers, and storytelling to commemorate his heroism. Emotan, whose real name was Uwaraye, was a 15th century market woman who plied her trade at the Oba market in the ancient kingdom of Benin during the reigns of Oba Uwaifyokun and Oba Ewuare the Great. Although she had no biological children of her own, Emotan was deeply compassionate and took care of many children in her foster home. During her lifetime, Oba Uwaifyokun, a tyrannical king who had seized the throne by force, sought to kill the exiled Prince Ogun, the rightful heir to the throne. Emotan learned of the king's plan and revealed it to Prince Ogun. She sheltered him in her modest home near the Oba market, as it was one of the few safe places for him. Emotan also acted as his eyes and ears within the city, providing critical intelligence. With the information Emotan provided, Prince Ogun strategized and launched a counterattack against Oba Uwaifyokun, ultimately defeating him. This victory paved the way for Ogun to reclaim his rightful place on the throne as Oba Ewar II, liberating the people of Benin from a ruthless ruler. In gratitude for her loyalty and bravery, Oba Eware appointed Emotan as the Yeki, a prestigious position responsible for enforcing market rules and overseeing security. Emotan passed away soon after Ewar's ascension to the throne. To ensure her legacy was never forgotten, Oba Eware deified her by planting a sacred uruhe tree at her grave, which was located near her home by the Oba market. He also decreed that all title holders and funeral processions must visit her grave to pay homage. These stories are but a few in the many legend stories across medieval Nigeria. Please remember to like, share, and subscribe to the channel to enjoy more of videos like this. Thank you and goodbye.